The story about to be told begins unusually, with an intertwining of cultures and traditions. It's about a person whose fate is closely linked to two great peoples, the Mongolian and the Russian. His name is Badbayar, which in itself sounds mysterious and exotic. He was born in Mongolia, but his life path led through the vast expanses of the Soviet Union, where he became a doctor. In the late 70s, when he was only 25 years old, he first found himself in Moscow. In his pocket was a diploma from a Mongolian medical university, and in his hands, a canvas bag filled with herbs, collected by the caring hands of his grandmother in the boundless steppes of Mongolia. Moscow doctors met the young specialist with curiosity, but also with a degree of skepticism. What could a young doctor from distant Mongolia bring to them, experienced medical professionals? After all, there was an abundance of medicines around. The pharmacy shelves were bursting with medications. However, Badbayar's colleagues soon realized something important. Herbs are not just medicine. They are a whole philosophy of life. It's not so much about treating diseases as it is about preventing them. Before delving into the world of unique Mongolian teas that amazed even Soviet doctors, it is necessary to address everyone who cares about their health and the well-being of their loved ones. If you care about your own well-being, if you strive for harmony and longevity, then don't miss the chance to learn more. Now let's go back to the time when Badbayar first offered his colleagues a herbal drink, which in Mongolia is called bagvansai. The reaction was overwhelming. Questions like, "What is this?" were replaced by surprised exclamations. Why, it's Ivan chai, fireweed. Indeed, Ivan chai, known and revered in Mongolia for centuries. Nomads collected it, passing on the secrets from generation to generation. It grew where it seemed nothing could survive, absorbing the strength of the steppe, the energy of the sun, and the purity of the air. Badbayar had been drinking this tea since childhood, following the instructions of his father and grandmother, who considered it not just a drink, but a morning friend, helping to start the day right. Have you noticed how after a cup of regular tea or coffee, your energy soars up and then drops sharply? Ivan chai works differently. It doesn't contain caffeine, but it does have substances that give a steady, calm surge of strength for several hours. It awakens the brain, cleanses the blood vessels, and calms the nerves. In Soviet Moscow, doctors often complained about the difficulty of waking up, the fog in their heads, and the lack of energy, especially in winter, when the days are short and the sun rarely spoils them with its warmth. So what does this amazing drink hide within itself? To be continued. One day the author shared a thermos of Ivan chai with colleagues at work, treating everyone to a cup of this drink. At first it caused smiles, but soon they began to ask him, "Badbayar, bring it again." And he brought it. One of his first patients in Moscow, a woman who was 58 years old at the time, worked as an accountant. She suffered from chronic fatigue and headaches in the morning. Pills did not bring relief, and the woman was depressed. The author suggested that she start the day with a cup of Ivan chai. She doubted, "Can some kind of herb really help me?" A month later, she came to him with a smile and said, "Dr. Vasiliev, I didn't even expect it. I wake up calmly, there is no heaviness, my head is clear, and I have enough energy for the whole day." How is this possible? This is what a properly selected drink does. Ivan chai not only gives a boost of energy, but it also supplies the body with B vitamins, antioxidants that strengthen blood vessels, improve memory and attention. It is especially appreciated by people engaged in mental work, those who are subject to stress and care about their health. How to properly drink Ivan chai in the morning so that it really helps. Brew 1 teaspoon of dry herbs per cup of hot water, but not boiling water. Let it steep for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink it warm, slowly, in small sips. You will feel how energy and clarity of thought gently return to your body. Ivan chai is the best choice for those who cannot drink coffee, who are tired of pressure drops and anxiety. It delicately normalizes the nervous system, soothes the stomach, relieves inflammation, and supports the work of the heart. And one more thing. If you want to try Ivan chai in the morning, write the word cheerfulness in the comments. If you already know how it works, write tested. This way, the author will understand how many people among the readers are ready to switch to soft and natural energy. But this is only one of the 5 teas that Mongolian healers have used for centuries to maintain the health and strength of the body. Each tea is for its own time of day. One in the morning, another after a meal, a third in the evening to make it easier to fall asleep and wake up rested. It is especially important what kind of tea to drink after a meal, so that the body does not lose strength, but easily copes with the load. This will be discussed further, and believe me, it's worth knowing. The next tea that was brought to Moscow turned out to be green. In Mongolia, it's known as Nogun Sai. It's a familiar green leaf tea, but not the kind you find in tea bags. Its preparation requires a special approach, and it's drunk not so much for the taste, but for its benefits. It's especially relevant after a meal. The author's grandfather, who worked as a healer in their village, often repeated, "It's not what you eat that matters, but how your body digests it." He drank green tea every day after lunch, leisurely, without rushing. At first, the author didn't understand why, but over time he became convinced of its effectiveness. His grandfather always had a clear head, lightness in his body, and a calm heart, even when he was over 80. Arriving in Moscow, the author faced a problem when many doctors complained of drowsiness and a feeling of heaviness after eating. Some even fell asleep right at work. He experienced it himself. He would eat, and it was like he was shutting down. Then he remembered green tea and started drinking it as he had been taught. He brewed it correctly, with warm water, not hot, and drank it every day after lunch. After a week, he noticed that the heaviness in his stomach disappeared, the drowsiness passed, and in the evening there was still energy for work. Later, the author began brewing tea for his colleagues as well. At first they laughed, but then they asked for more. Green tea helps the body cope with food. It improves digestion, supports the liver, promotes bile flow, relieves spasms, and reduces fatigue after eating. It does not have a stimulating effect like black tea, and does not raise blood pressure like coffee. It simply gently starts the processes in the body. It is especially useful for people over 50, when the work of the intestines and stomach slows down. It prevents food from stagnating, reduces bloating, normalizes liver function, and has a beneficial effect on blood vessels. However, it should not be consumed on an empty stomach or drunk cold. It's not just a drink, it's part of a regimen. It is recommended to brew tea after a meal. Let it steep for 2 or 3 minutes and drink it warm, slowly. This is quite enough. It is best to use a teapot, avoiding tea bags, without adding sugar or honey. Just a pure leaf. The author sometimes adds a slice of dried apple, but more often prefers to drink tea without additives. If you often experience heaviness after eating, weakness, fatigue, or drowsiness, you should try drinking green tea after lunch. It is important to do this regularly, not just once, but for at least a week. The effect will definitely appear. This has been proven by the experience of the author and thousands of people he has worked with. If the reader has already tried drinking green tea after a meal, they are invited to write the word lighter in the comments. Those who are just planning to try should write, "I will try." This will allow the author to make sure that the audience is not just listening, but also striving for change. The author also encourages subscribing to the channel to support his work. This discusses not fashion trends but proven methods. 2 types of tea have already been considered. One for morning use, the other after a meal. But what about the evening? What to drink when the day is over, but thoughts still linger in your head? There is a tea that promotes relaxation of the body and freeing the mind from unnecessary thoughts. When the day comes to an end, the body may feel tension, and various thoughts, memories, and worries continue to spin in the head. It is for such moments that the author always keeps a special tea in the house. In Mongolia, it is not drunk often, but it is treated with respect. This is not an herbal blend, but a combination of only two components, walnut septa and lemon balm. The first ingredient has a calming effect, the second has a cleansing effect. Together they provide deep and even relaxation. Walnut septa are often thrown away, believing that there is no value in them. However, it is in them that a special power is concluded. They contain substances that gently reduce nervous excitability, support the blood vessels of the brain, and promote calm sleep. The author himself began drinking this decoction back in his student years, when there were sessions, sleepless nights, and heaviness in his head. It helped to switch, after which a quick and sound sleep came. The main thing is to brew the drink correctly and not drink it in a hurry. Lemon balm in Mongolia is known as a herb for gaining balance. It is often called the breath of the steppe. It not only soothes, but also eliminates internal anxiety, beneficially affecting the heart and stomach. When a person has been active all day, and in the evening cannot let go of worries, lemon balm returns inner peace. The author began mixing these two plants already in Moscow. Colleagues asked for something to improve sleep, but without the use of pills. One day he brought to work a small bag of walnut septa and a bunch of dried lemon balm. He brewed tea in the evening when the shift was coming to an end. Everyone drank a cup. It was one of the most peaceful evenings in the clinic. The staff were relaxed, spoke more quietly, and did not interrupt each other. It seemed that even the atmosphere became softer. This beverage doesn't just help you fall asleep. It gently guides you from wakefulness to sleep, relieving nervous system tension, promoting blood vessel relaxation, and improving brain blood flow. If nightly awakenings have become commonplace, if falling asleep has become a struggle, or if you don't feel fully rested in the morning, this is one of the most accessible ways to restore deep, healthy sleep. The recipe is simple. Combine 1 tablespoon of walnut septa and 1 teaspoon of dried lemon balm, then pour 300 milliliters of boiling water over the mixture. Cover and steep for 15 minutes. Drink the beverage warm, without sugar, slowly, and ideally half an hour before bed in a quiet environment. Avoid drinking the tea while watching television or using your phone. It's recommended to simply sit, take a few deep breaths, and drink the cup. This becomes a kind of ritual, and the body begins to understand the day is over. If you're accustomed to using medication to fall asleep, give your body a chance. Try replacing pills with this evening tea, not just once, but for at least a week. Sleep may return, bringing with it strength and energy. If you've already tried walnut septa with lemon balm, please comment with the word slept. If you're planning to try it right before bed, this is a simple way to show that you're not just listening, but taking something away for yourself. In the late afternoon, between lunch and dinner, many people experience fatigue. It's no longer morning, but not yet evening. The body begins to slow down, but the mind continues to work. It's during this time that irritability, sudden mood swings, mild anxiety, or lethargy often arise, sometimes all at once. For this time of day, it's recommended to have mint tea on hand. Mint is a plant that many consider merely an aromatic herb, but that's not entirely true. In Mongolia, mint has always been revered. It was called the midday herb. It was brewed when the sun began to set and people felt their strength waning. Mint helps you rest without sleeping. It doesn't stimulate, but it refreshes. It helps clear the head, even out breathing, and calm thoughts. When you start drinking mint tea after work, you'll notice that you raise your voice less often. You'll become less irritated by minor things. You'll listen more quietly and attentively. Mint tea acts as an internal pause. It restores balance if the day has been full of communication, rushing, or anxiety. It's especially helpful for those who work extensively with people or process large volumes of information. Mint can ease digestion, especially after a heavy meal. It effectively relieves spasms, soothes the stomach and intestines, eliminates bloating, and helps with heartburn. This is especially relevant in the evening, when there's little time left before bed and the body needs to process food. Preparing mint tea is very simple. 1 teaspoon of dried mint is enough for 1 cup. Pour hot water over it, cover, and let it steep for 7 to 10 minutes. It's recommended to drink this tea warm, without sugar. If the flavor doesn't seem strong enough, don't increase the amount of mint. Instead, extend the steeping time. Mint works gently, and that's its advantage. Mint tea should be drunk slowly. It's best to do this in solitude, in silence. This could be a short rest in an armchair, a small pause between tasks, or simply a moment of peace. Even 5 minutes of silence with a cup of mint tea can change the rest of your day. If you experience irritability after eating, if you crave peace but can't sleep, try mint tea. It's important to consume it regularly, not just once. The body prefers predictability. For those who already drink mint tea, please comment with the word pause. For those who are planning to try it, write after 4. This will allow others to see that there are many people like them. If the material was helpful, it's recommended to subscribe. This is a way to share information that truly works. Next, we'll discuss the final 5th tea. In Mongolia, it was called tea for depth. It's not related to the daily routine. It's related to the inner state. It wasn't drunk on a schedule, but according to feelings. Sometimes on difficult days, sometimes when you wanted to quickly regain strength. The last tea we'll discuss is special. In Mongolia, it was called tea for restoration. It wasn't consumed every day. It was drunk on days when the body was more tired than usual, during hypothermia, tension, colds, or simply feeling unwell. This was raspberry leaf tea. Many know raspberries for their berries, but in traditional medicine the leaves were especially valued. They contain less sugar but more beneficial substances. They contain tannins, which strengthen mucous membranes, B vitamins, which support the nervous system, and substances that reduce inflammation, boost immunity, and soothe the body. During my time working in a hospital, especially during the off-season, I always had a strategic supply of raspberry leaves. One of my colleagues called this infusion a soft shield, emphasizing its slow but profound effect. If I felt a sickness approaching, a general feeling of weakness, this tea helped the body resist the ailment. It doesn't energize like green tea, nor does it have the calming effect of mint. Its purpose is to provide internal stability, to have a beneficial effect on the throat, bronchi, and stomach, strengthening the immune system. It was especially effective when taken for several consecutive days. For women, the infusion also alleviates lower abdominal pain, especially during the premenstrual period or in cases of inflammation. Raspberry leaf tea is ideal for evenings or weekends when you can stay home in peace and quiet and recuperate. It is recommended to drink it when the body needs rest, but sleep doesn't come, or at the very beginning of an ailment, when the body needs gentle support. The preparation method is simple. 1 tablespoon of dry leaves is poured with a glass of hot water. It should be infused under a lid for 10 to 12 minutes. Consume warm, without sugar or other additives. A clean, mild taste is what characterizes this drink. It's convenient to brew a thermos in the morning and drink it in small sips throughout the day. This is preferable to resorting to medication unnecessarily. Those who have already had experience drinking raspberry leaf tea are invited to share their experience by leaving the word recovery in the comments. For those who are just planning to get acquainted with this drink, we offer to take note. This will allow us to assess how many people choose natural ways to take care of their health. In conclusion, I summarize information about 5 medicinal teas brought from Mongolia. They are available without a prescription, do not require significant costs, and are easily accessible in pharmacies or even in the forest. It is only important to understand when and why to use them. Ivan tea, drunk in the morning, provides energy without sudden surges. Green tea after a meal promotes digestion and reduces the feeling of heaviness. Tincture of walnut partitions with lemon balm before bed helps the body and mind relax. Mint in quiet hours helps relieve irritation and refresh thoughts. Raspberry leaves are a faithful helper in difficult days when support and recovery are needed. The presented scheme is not magic, not a tribute to fashion. This is practical experience accumulated by many generations. And, of course, my personal experience. You can try one tea, then another. There is no need to rush. It is important to listen to yourself, be consistent, and take care of your body. If this video was helpful, I urge you to share your impressions. Viewers' comments are not just a response, they are evidence that viewers share my views. Those who have watched the video to the end can write the word 5. This will allow us to understand how many people consciously take care of their health. If viewers want such videos to be released more often, it is recommended to subscribe to the channel. This simple action will help me continue my work. I am Dr. Badbayar Vasiliev. I thank you for your attention and urge you to take care of yourself. I wish you every day filled with health, peace, and warmth. See you in the next videos.